45.6% in 2023. Experts say weight loss medications could contribute, but other factors might also be at play. The reports of drones over New Jersey and New York have led to calls for the federal government to share more information. Federal authorities say they have not assessed any threat. Republican Nicole Malliotakis represents Staten Island in the House of Representatives and says,
I don't believe that the United States of America, with its military capabilities, does not know what these objects are. And what I'm asking, and what we're all asking, is for you to be straight with us.
A Marine veteran acquitted of homicide and the choking death of an agitated New York subway rider will join President-elect Trump in his suite at tomorrow's Army-Navy football game. This is ABC News. Seattle's only all-news station. Northwest News Radio, 97.7 FM and AM 1000 at nwnewsradio.com. Here are Amanda Thatcher and Brian Calvert.
Thanks so much for making us part of your Friday morning routine. It is the 13th of December, and at 8:31 we have 42 degrees with cloudy skies in downtown Seattle. Next off, I'm Brian Calvert. Police in Auburn searching for a 10-year-old who they believe is part of a group of kids who robbed a gas station and several other businesses.
Investigators say the group is also involved in a gun shop burglary in Fall City. Police say the group of teens held an employee at knife point at Chevron in Auburn. Again, the youngest criminal, just 10 years old, according to police. Police say a 13, 16, and 17-year-old involved has been arrested. They're in juvenile custody, facing car theft charges and attempted burglary. But Auburn PD is still trying to find the 10-year-old they say was part of this scary crime spree.
That's Como 4's Theron Zahn reporting. Security has been beefed up at Tacoma's Point Defiance Park after a woman was sexually assaulted there earlier this week.
Tacoma police are posting dedicated patrols at Point Defiance, and the Parks Department has private security on hand to assist.
So definitely, that makes me feel much more secure to know as a single female in the park alone here.
Earlier this year, police arrested a man suspected of brutally stabbing a woman at Point Defiance Park, and at the time, portable cameras were brought in to record who came and went. Those cameras have since been taken down.
Permanent camera measures would definitely be a help. Even if it's cameras, in certain areas of the park or monitoring entrances, exits.
The police department's dedicated patrols at the park, those will continue at least through the weekend while investigators work with the evidence that they do have to try and track down this suspect.
That's Como 4's Joel Moreno. 3 Washington state residents are among those receiving clemency as part of President Biden's sweeping order granting commutations to 1,500 Americans and pardoning 39 individuals. Times reports 36-year-old Terrence Jackson of Seattle, 60-year-old Rosetta Davis of Stevens County, and 74-year-old Russell Portner of Cowlitz County pardoned by Biden yesterday. Jackson pardoned for a federal felony conviction for selling cocaine. Davis and Portner pardoned for non-violent drug offenses. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a briefing that those who had their sentences commuted have shown remorse, growth, and a strong commitment to making their communities safer. The SR 520 Montlake project getting closer to completion.
WashDOT planning to celebrate a grand opening this weekend. Tomorrow, officials hosting the opening of a new bike and pedestrian bridge over the highway near the lid. They say the paved path lined with plants will provide access to the University of Washington and neighborhoods there. Let's show you a live look right now at the 520 floating bridge this morning. All looking good there. Recently, Washington State was just named the top spot in America for bicyclists. That's according to rankings by the League of American Bicyclists.
Grand opening ceremonies and a party for the bike bridge will get underway tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. It is 8:34. Time to head back over to the High Performance Homes Traffic Center. Libby Kay, not too bad on the commute this morning.
No, really not. And we do have some rain showers, light showers coming in. So, maybe as those roads kind of get wet again, you want to be extra careful. That's where it's often the slickest times as soon as the rain starts. I do have some good news to report. It was real quick that we got that crash cleared out State Route 512 eastbound. There's quite a lot of activity there, and it was only the center lane that had been getting through. I do see a few vehicles off on the right shoulder. Your delays as you come off northbound I-5 to State Route 512 eastbound are easing out pretty well. Even that westbound side looks like it's back to normal. Just some slowdowns in the right lane trying to merge onto northbound I-5. In Seattle, it's still a little heavy I-5 northbound halfway, well, just north of the Benbow and Field portion, up toward the convention center. We still have some slowdowns associated with that earlier crash northbound Pack Highway at the First Avenue South Bridge, the one north of there in the margin away portion in Ohio Street, still reportedly blocking the right lane. Alderwood Manor area a crash State Route 524, that's 196th Street Southwest, is at West Cypress Way. That's Northwest Traffic. I'm Libby Kay.
Sponsored by Blindster.com. Right now, they're offering up to 45% all their custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters during their extended Cyber Week sale. Don't miss out on some incredible deals, but hurry, sale ends December 16th at Blindsters.com. Forecast now, sponsored by Northwest Crawl Space Services. Here's Como 4's George Waldenberger. Hi, George.
Good morning and happy Friday. We do have a few hit-or-miss showers on the roadways this morning. This afternoon, the rains kind of build. They'll be a little more widespread for the afternoon and evening. Could be heavy at times in spots, 46 degrees. Later today into the night, it gets a little breezy, 43. We have off and on showers. Tomorrow's the windiest day of the weekend. We'll have off and on showers continuing. They may be heavy at times. We're back near 50 degrees. Then on Sunday, some peaks of sun as the rain tapers off. The winds diminish, but more rain for the beginning of next week. In the Como Weather Center, I'm meteorologist George Waldenberger, Como 4 News.
Thank you, George. Right now, we have mostly cloudy skies in the area. Some spots of showers here and there. At JBLM, it's 39 degrees. Olympia, 38. In Puyallup, 40. Bremerton, 36 degrees. In Bellevue, it's 38. Tacoma, 40. And in downtown Seattle, cloudy skies and 42 degrees. It's 8:37. This is the Northwest Morning News. So glad to have you with us this morning. The story of that hacked road sign in Seattle yesterday morning is getting national attention. At one point, that electronic reader board read, "One less CEO, many more to go." It comes a week after the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. People are asking questions about the motive behind that message.
The public discourse surrounding Thompson's murder even prompting some companies to tighten security for their executives and other employees.
Definitely this is something that should not happen, but I cannot understand why people are very frustrated about the healthcare system in the country. But I agree, like, violence is not the only way. Like, it shouldn't be the way to solve the issue as well.
But some hoping, despite all this, it can lead to positive conversations and change in the health insurance industry.
I hope that there is some eyes open and that there is a transition and we see some healthcare reform. But whether or not this is the action that spurs those conversations further along and actually creates concrete change in our healthcare system in this country, I'm not quite 100% confident in that.
Reporting in Seattle, Ann Wynn, Como News.
With the heads up, the King County will increase its traffic patrols this weekend.
The extra law enforcement presence is part of the county's Night of 1,000 Stars campaign. The program aims to cut down on speeding, distracted driving, and DUIs during the busiest time of the year. Kent Police announced they'll also be operating an additional DUI processing center over the weekend.
That's Como 4's Tyra Majors. Well, time for some advice. First of all, when it comes to food allergies, there are many steps to take to stay safe this holiday season. We turn things over to ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
The first thing you can do is check food labels. You want to make sure that you're looking for the possibility of allergens. Also look for things like processed in to see if that food was made in a facility that also has allergens. That can increase your risk. Also communicate clearly and communicate early. You want to let everyone know what your allergy is, how severe it is, and remind them that even trace amounts can cause harmful effects. And also the way that you prevent this at the dinner table is don't share utensils. You want to make sure you wash all your utensils and your cutting boards before and after use with soap and water to eliminate the possibility of allergens being exposed, and always carry your medications. You never can expect an emergency, but you always want to be prepared for one. Grabbing that EpiPen, those antihistamines, and making sure they're on your person, especially if you're joining that potluck.
Dr. Sutton was also asked about a recent study from Frontiers in Public Health that suggests drinking sugary beverages may increase chances of heart disease.
It found that those who had 8 or more servings of a sugary beverage during the week, that's a little bit more than one a day, had an increased risk of stroke by almost 20%, an increased risk of heart failure by 18%, and an increased risk of AFib, atrial fibrillation, that abnormal heart rhythm, by 11%. I think that there are some reasons behind this, although the study did not answer it. I assume one of the reasons is because sugary drinks often have less good components than a sugary treat that might have fiber in it, for example, that might offset some of those negative effects of too much sugar. Having too much sugar affects you in a multitude of ways, and so the way that we control this is keeping it under wraps or under control. 25 to 35 grams a day of added sugar is what we should be looking for. Sometimes that's in one beverage, so it's always important to look at the label. Having few sugary items, having zero sugar, is also associated to increased risk. What does that mean? Sugar is a vital component of life, and you don't want to get rid of it completely, but you don't want to have too much of it. Moderation is key.
ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton. It's 8:40. Time to head back over to the Beacon Plumbing Sports Desk. Bill Sports is standing by, and Bill, the NFL's most successful coach, is jumping to college football.
6 Super Bowl rings he won with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick says he always wanted to be part of the college football program, just like his dad Steve was in the 1960s. Well, the University of North Carolina introduced the 72-year-old Belichick, who insists he's in for the long haul.
Yeah, I didn't come here to leave.
Plenty of thought Bill will hire his son Steve Belichick to the moniker Sunday night against visiting Green Bay, and playing their first hockey game since the passing of owner, co-founder, and visionary David Bonderman. The Kraken produced a 5-1 victory over the Boston Bruins. Seattle's homestand continues tomorrow night against Tampa Bay. Sports with Sports at 10:40 after the hour, Northwest News Radio.
Thank you, Bill. It is 8:42. We're going to check traffic coming up in just a few moments. You know, there's a bit of controversy involving one congressman's use of Spotify. ABC's Brad Miller.
You know the little Spotify Wrapped thing everyone's posting this time of year, where Spotify lists the songs that you listen to the most? Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter tops the platform's list, followed by Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us. But to a lot of people, it sort of becomes a source of pride, right? Showing off your cultured musical tastes, or maybe if you're a parent, just insisting your life does not revolve around Baby Shark. Well, in New Jersey, these lists have now erupted into a full-blown political scandal. Earlier this month, Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer, who's running for governor in New Jersey, put out his Spotify Wrapped list. His 5 most listened to songs, it said, were all Bruce Springsteen. Thunder Road was the top pick, followed by Because the Night and Glory Days, which, how much more New Jersey can you be, right? Having the pride of New Jersey dominating your playlists. Only one problem, it was a fake list. Someone noticed the font of this list did not match the font that Spotify uses. This looked doctored. Eventually, Gottheimer came out and admitted it. He said he shares his Spotify account with his 12 and 15-year-old. This wouldn't reflect his true aesthetic. This, instead, he said, is what his account would look like if he didn't share it. His campaign eventually revealed the true list, which, in order, Turn the Lights Back On by Billy Joel, Fiend by Travis Scott, and Ghetto Superstar by Prods. Gottheimer tried to play this down. He posted on X, to quote the boss, "I wasn't here for business, baby. I was only here for fun." His meaning, this was not supposed to be a big deal. But some constituents said, let's take this for what it is. Passing off something as true that's not true, that's called lying. Doing it to endear yourself to voters, to tell a false story about yourself, that's called pandering. And while Gottheimer's Springsteen fandom is beyond dispute, after all, he named his dog Rosalita, that same song describes the importance of having a little dignity, a little honesty. Windows are for cheaters, says Springsteen. Winners, here's the door. This is News Radio 1000 FM 97.7. Breaking news.
From CBS News this morning, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in the hospital after sustaining an injury on an overseas trip to Luxembourg. Her offices are reporting this morning while traveling with a bipartisan congressional delegation to mark the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Emerita Nancy Pelosi, that is, sustained an injury during an official engagement, was admitted to the hospital for evaluation. Spokesperson said Pelosi, quote, looks forward to returning home to the U.S. soon and said she continues to work from the hospital. Get you over to the traffic center. That's the High Performance Homes Traffic Center this morning. Here's Libby Kay.
Well, we've had lighter than usual volumes, and that pattern continues here this morning all around, despite the rain coming in some of our wet roadways. So go carefully no matter what. This crash Alderwood Manor continues to block the westbound side of State Route 524. That's 196th Street Southwest. It's right at West Cypress Lake, and it's partially blocking that up. Southbound side of I-405, maybe some heaviness between State Route 527 and Juanita Woodinville Way. Again, again, overall, we've just been lighter. No big delay here southbound I-5 whatsoever. Linwood, Shoreline, down in towards Seattle. The volume is picking up somewhat as you get towards State Route 520. Northbound side of I-5, if you're coming up towards State Route 512, just be aware if you're even heading over onto that eastbound side of State Route 512, there is a crash still being cleared off the right shoulder. Any eastbound delay eased out pretty nicely. The westbound side is active. There's your routine slowdown merging onto I-5. Northbound I-5, problem-free Tacoma all the way up in through Federal Way and SeaTac in Seattle. It's still pretty full, though, just after the mid-going field point up toward the convention center area. That's Northwest Traffic. I'm Libby Kay.
Sponsored by Blindster.com. Want to save 45% on new blinds? Go to Blindster.com. They offer custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters at prices far less than big box retailers. Save up to 45% off from December 16th during their extended Cyber Week sale at Blindster.com. Your forecast calling for rain today. This forecast sponsored by Northwest Crawl Space Services. Our high in the mid-40s. Rain and wind picking up tonight with some snow up in the mountains. Lows in the low 40s.
The Northwest's only all-news station, News Radio 97.7 FM and AM 1000, where the News Watch never stops.
Rick Lindsay at the editor's desk on this Friday morning. Manda is off. I'm Brian Calvert. The parents of missing American Travis Timmerman are recalling those first moments when they heard he'd been found alive in Syria.
1,000 years. I was so happy. I was like,
Happy here.
yeah.
It was great.
Like, this gave me the best Christmas ever.
His family in Missouri is still piecing everything together. They say they haven't heard from him in 7 months after he embarked on a trip to Europe.
My heart's been broken. But, he's been gone. Now, I'm happy.
This a day after video surfaced of the 29-year-old who was seen lying down surrounded by a group of men. And here, describing how he was rescued by rebel fighters from a prison.
I was in prison in a cell by myself. And in the early morning of this Monday, or the Monday this week, they took a hammer and they broke my door down.
A glimmer of hope as thousands of prisoners are freed after the overthrow of Assad's brutal regime. But still, so many remain missing, including American Austin Tice, a freelance journalist and Marine Corps veteran who was kidnapped more than a decade ago. His mother and father told our Lindsay Davis they remain positive.
Now that there's a new authority in Damascus, who I understand is interested in developing good relationships with the United States, it just feels like a great time for whoever can help Austin get home.
We explored the luxuries Assad enjoyed while so many suffered at his private homes.
It's been completely looted.
Small glimpses of family life.
The Assad family regime.
And this shocking discovery deep underground, an escape route. Walking under this vast tunnel under Bashar al-Assad's home, and it strikes me, why would any legitimate ruler need an escape route out of their own home? At prayers today, Rebel Chief Golani leading the celebration. Hope for a new generation. We suffered for 60 years, he said. Finally, it's over. So huge excitement here on this day of prayer, but I think it's also clear that there is danger ahead for this country and possibly a sectarian conflict along religious lines. That is the danger that is plaguing Syria right now.
ABC's James Longman in Damascus. Get your money news this morning.
Alphabet-owned YouTube is hiking the price of its popular TV streaming service, which has more than 8 million subscribers. Beginning in January, the cost of the platform will jump to $82.99 per month, up $10. The latest price increase for YouTube TV stems from rising content costs. Boeing says it plans to invest $1 billion to boost production of its 787 Dreamliner jets. Boeing will make the investment in its South Carolina operations to boost production of the plane to 10 a month by 2026. Wendy's is celebrating the holiday season with 12 days of BOGO, or buy one, get one, which allow customers to double the servings when they take advantage of the deals. The in-app special will run until December 22nd and offer more than $50 in savings. That's your money now. Jennifer Scordo, Northwest News Radio.
On Wall Street this hour, most stocks are in low territory. They're in negative territory, I should say. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 11. The S&P 500 is down 6. The NASDAQ is down 37.
Hello, Seattle. I'm Tyra Major.
And I'm Steve McCarran, and we're Arc Seattle, the show that discovers what's really happening in the Northwest.
Seattle, curiosity drives the conversation. We keep it local, exploring people and places around the sound.
We share the coolest adventures, best places to hang out, and fabulous foodie trends sure to go viral. Join us weekday mornings starting at 7.
To find Arc Seattle, look for the CW logo on your channel guide.
The law offices of Harold Carr has sponsored the Salvation Army Toy Drive for the past 9 years now. Harold Carr and his wife have both gone shopping for toys each year, filled their car seats to the brim, and needed other carts to unload all the toys. This is one of the reasons I'm so fond of these guys at the law offices of Harold Carr. Todd Herman here with a special message for this holiday season, reminding you to be safe on the roads. Don't text and drive. Don't drive distracted. Make sure you've got a designated driver. After a car accident, you can spend hours on the phone dealing with insurance companies. You have enough to do this holiday season without the added stress of handling an insurance claim. Let the law offices of Harold Carr handle your claim for you so you can focus on your health and your family this holiday season. Be safe out there, and remember, car accident, call Carr. Visit HaroldCarRattorney.com.
Kitchen or a better design with a lot more storage. Let Sound Kitchen and Bath create the kitchen of your dreams. Go to SoundKitchenandBath.com today. SoundKitchenandBath.com.
Some said a life-threatening brain tumor would dim Ainsley's spark. But this future pop star is back to full sparkle, and she's ready for her big encore. Through research, compassionate care, and support from people like you, Seattle Children's is fighting for lasting cures. So for every kid that didn't have a chance, this relentless fight is for you. Because this isn't about beating the odds, it's about changing them for all kidkind. Hope, care, cure. Seattle Children's.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face...
If you're worried about flooding in your crawl space or standing water around your home, let Northwest Crawl Space Services be your first line of defense with their custom sump pump and drainage solutions. When it comes to your crawl space, wet or dry, all of it can be solved with one call to Northwest Crawl Space Services. With your free inspection, Northwest Crawl Space Services will investigate the source of water intrusion and typically offer multiple drainage options as well as custom sump pump solutions to keep your home dry, even through our wettest months. Remember, Northwest Crawl Space Services is the only company that can solve any crawl space or attic problem. No exceptions. One call and they'll put a stop to water intrusion, get rid of the critters, and re-insulate your home too, all at a fair price. Check out their impeccable reputation. Then schedule your free crawl space and drainage inspection today. Go to nwcrawlspace.com. That's nwcrawlspace.com.
It's 8:54. Let's head back over to the High Performance Homes Traffic Center. Here's Libby Kay.
Well, we've got wider roadways, but on the whole, we are so much lighter traveled all around. Not much of a delay whatsoever on all of your major roadways, despite the rain and the slicker conditions. Getting word of an accident in Seattle. It looks like it's in the Central Business District. This is the northbound side of First Avenue and Pike Street. We had that accident in the Lakewood area, westbound, say around 512 and I-5. Even the right shoulder has been cleared up, so we're back up to speed. No problems through there. Westbound may be still a little bit of a delay as you merge onto I-405 northbound. I-405 northbound, you're heavy